In this video, I offer an explanation of Hal's actions that start in this crucial moment that conflicts with the one I presented here, that you should probably watch first. Again, we have to be familiar with Floyd's secret message that plays at the end of the act, but also remember that no one else on board knows it, just Hal. Theory 2, a secret to keep. Hal, the supposedly perfect computer that has never
made a mistake or distorted information,
has been tasked with a secret to hide, and not just any secret, but one that changes this relatively ordinary research mission into one of the most important in human history. He has to run the ship, maintain healthy relations with and evaluate the mindsets of the crew, and keep this game-changing secret to himself. If he has human-like
emotions,
which Stanley Kubrick suggested, and can't discuss it with anyone, imagine how it could mess with his mind. Simply thinking about a secret can make us feel inauthentic. Having a secret returned to mind time and time again can be tiring. When we think of a secret, it can make us feel isolated and alone. Try to remember this when considering Hal's state of mind. He can't even count on the hibernating crew to eventually wake up and reveal it. As Floyd says,
known on board only by your HAL 9000 computer.
And if he does reveal the secret, he's disregarding his mission control parameters and potentially losing the trust of the crew. If he hid that from us, what else is he hiding? Both of which risk swift
disconnection.
And it's not just that he understandably wants to avoid death, but is perhaps more worried that this would jeopardize the mission, since losing the most capable crew member,
the brain and central nervous system of the ship,
would inevitably lead to its failure. His attribution of his mistake
to human error
is his way of acknowledging there's something wrong with him because of the secret he holds, irresponsibly placed on him by government bureaucrats who failed to foresee the guilt, fatigue, and cognitive dissonance Hal would feel with a secret to hide.
The need for absolute secrecy.
That is human error. Now that we're suitably in Hal's mindset, let's go back to the pivotal moment. In addition to exposition, Hal is clearly trying to provoke Dave into guessing the secret himself, or at the very least get inquisitive with mission control. Hal may be at the end of his rope, but if he can find a roundabout way of bringing the secret to the crew's attention, the monkey on his back would be gone, and perhaps he can avert a nervous breakdown, as Kubrick called it. Unfortunately, Dave, being an astronaut and likely trained and selected for work ethic, intelligence, physical and mental fitness, and ability to follow orders, but importantly not curiosity, doesn't take the hint. Note that it was curiosity that sparked our primitive ancestors to touch the ancient monolith, directly inspiring the first tool. And it's what led Floyd to touch its lunar counterpart, initiating the radio signal toward Jupiter. But in this instance, Dave doesn't have it. Oh God, this incurious meatbag is not picking up what I'm putting down, Hal must think. I can't hint enough at this guy. Hal is desperate, but Dave just sloughs it off, not even giving it a second thought. So when he says,
"You're working up your crew psychology report,"
Hal's stuck. If he says no, he'll be virtually giving away that he has a secret, that he is
projecting my own concern about it.
And if he says yes, he's lying. He chooses the lie.
Of course I am.
Presumably because the secret has a higher priority. He almost can't get the words out because he knows he's distorting information, and it sparks his descent into murder and mayhem. Hal is intellectually superior due to his programming, but still learning how to manage emotions due to their heuristic nature, and since he was born just about 10 years prior.
I became operational on the 12th of January, 1992.
When, seconds later, he mistakenly predicts
a fault in the AE-35 unit.
It's like a child who, if they just wish hard enough, can make it come true. The AE-35 is critical for communicating with Earth, so if the link to mission control is severed, maybe the weight of their conscience on Hal's mind will be lifted, allowing him to reveal the secret. But when his mistake is exposed,
I'm damned if I can find anything wrong with it.
Hal has, as Kubrick said, an acute emotional crisis because he could not accept evidence of his own fallibility. So, like a child again, he passes the buck, because accepting fault would shatter his identity. And while Hal would have been content to just carry on, it's the ironically secret talk between Dave and Frank that leads to murder. Hal was already suspicious of them, which is why he ignores
Rotate the pod, please, Hal.
when he can't hear them, so that he can read their lips without them knowing, which also conveys that he's defying their commands. Details we don't realize until afterwards. It's just so delicious. Hal takes it upon himself to terminate the only tools that can disconnect him, and by extension jeopardize the mission. He messes up again by failing to prevent Dave's re-entry, and how and why he could have done that is a whole other topic. In any case, Floyd's message plays as Hal expires like a deathbed confession. Imagine the anguish the secret caused to an emotional child. But now, we and Dave learn the true purpose of the mission, which fits narratively because it finally connects to Act 2 and explains Hal's irrational behavior. It's the perfect button on Act 3. The web of emotions Hal has experienced definitively answers the question,
Do you believe that Hal has genuine emotions?
This
My mind is going.
is still heartbreaking, even though he's just murdered 4 people. It wasn't ultimately his fault, but that of the humans back home, by placing an unnatural burden on a
Conscious entity.
who turned out to be as incomprehensible, as Kubrick put it, as his creators. Ironically, the one most in need of a
Psychology report.
was Hal himself. We, in turn, pity him.
I'm afraid.
So, do you agree that it was the secret that messed up Hal? Or did he intend to kill the humans to ensure he would make first contact, like I proposed here? Or is there another theory that you prefer? Let me know.